This is the Skewb. So the Skewb is a little bit different than other puzzles like the 3x3 and 2x2 because of the way it's shaped and the way it turns altogether. So if you look at the Skewb, the first thing you may notice is it doesn't have any edge pieces, and it kind of looks different in the sense that the 3x3 has a very set center, and then it's got all its edge pieces and corner pieces. This one has a set center, but there's no edge pieces, and all the corner pieces are like triangles, and then the center is like a diamond all around. And you also might notice the way it turns is completely different than a 3x3. For a 3x3, it just turns just like this, and for a Skewb, it tends to turn like this. Actually, it does turn like this. Okay, so step one of the Skewb is going to be like pretty much any other cube. It's going to be to solve the first layer. And since there are no edge pieces, we don't need to make a cross. We just need to solve the whole layer as a total. So before you do this, I would recommend just kind of playing around with the cube and seeing how it turns and how it moves. That way you get an idea of how this cube feels, so you can understand how it works a lot better, and then the intuitive part of this cube will make a lot more sense. So the first thing you're going to want to do for making let's just say the white face, I'm going to identify only one of the corners that needs to be up here. So like for example, I have red, white, and blue right here. So I can just rotate that up, and that's going to put white on top. And right now it doesn't really matter where each piece is because there's only one right here. Then I notice that I have a white, red, and green piece right here, and I know that this piece needs to go over here because there's red here, and red here, and white here, and white here. So that means that I need to do something like this, and that will pair these two up. So that means these two are already in the right spot. And then finally, I'm going to find my third piece. It's right here. I have the orange, white, and green. And then I can just insert this, super easy. And then that gives me these two pairs and these two pairs. Everything's correct on top. Now for the last layer, there are two possible things that could happen. Or I guess there's three. So it could be either in the right spot and fully solved, or it could be twisted this way, or another direction with the white facing over here. So the way you want to hold this is with the unsolved corner in the left top right here, like how I have right here. And then if the white is facing like away from you, you always want to have the white on the corner facing away from you. So in this case, it's already facing away from me. So for this case, what you're going to want to do is this right here. You're going to want to bring this side down, then this side up, and that's going to adjust this so that this will come back up here. So then we're going to take this side up, and then we can take this side down, and that's going to solve everything on the top. And now let's get into the second case. Okay, and then the second and final case that you could get is when you hold the unsolved corner in the top left with the white center facing the top, and you have something that looks like this. This is when the white part of this corner is facing towards you. And like I said earlier, you won't always want to have the white facing away from you. So you want to do a cube rotation so that the white is pointed away from you like this. For that case, you're going to do basically a mirror of the same algorithm that we just did. So instead, it's going to be move the right side down, then we're going to move the left side up, then we're going to move the right side up, and then we're going to move the left side down. And that will solve that case. Okay, so now unlike the 3x3 or pretty much any other cube, we're not going to solve the second layer centers. Instead, we're going to solve the last layer, then do the last layer centers, and then finish up with all the other centers as well. So let's go ahead and move on into the last layers, corners first. So we first match up all the corners so they're all facing on top, and all of them are in the right spot. And then we solve the center into there, and then we solve all the centers around here. So there are two cases you could get for the corners, the corner orientation for here. So in this case, I have one where there are two yellow parts of the corners, and they're facing away from each other, and then two that are facing the same direction. So if you have this case where two are facing away from each other and two are facing the same direction, you want to hold it like this. You have the two that are facing the same direction to the left of you, and then you want to do this algorithm. So we're going to do up, up, down, and down. And that is pretty much the only algorithm you need to know. And now let's move on into the second case of what can happen. Okay, so this is the second case that can happen, and it's when you have two yellow corners that are facing up, and then the other two are like this. So we have one that's facing towards you on the right, and then if you do a cube rotation, one that's facing towards you on the left. So you're gonna wanna hold it like this, how I have. So you have the yellow facing towards you on the top left, like this, and then there are two facing up on top, and then the other unsolved in the top right corner. So the way you do this is basically two of the algorithms that I just showed. So it's just like this, up, up, down, down, and then it will give you this case. You have to do a cube rotation, and you go up, up, down, down, and that will solve for that case as well. Now after we've done that, we have to insert the yellow center into its correct spot. So we already have all of the corners solved and the white side solved. So now we have to solve the rest of the cube. So what we're gonna do when we have the unsolved yellow is you're gonna wanna hold the yellow center towards you with the yellow, or where it needs to go, on top, like this, like how I have here. And then you're going to do this algorithm. So we're going to do this, 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 and then we're going to do a cube rotation. And if you notice, you already have these two here, so it's the same algorithm like you're doing that case again. So it's up, up, down, down, and make sure after you've done that once to do a cube rotation in the middle. And then you can have one of two cases. So one case you can have is where one is solved, and then there are three aren't. So if you have this case where one is solved, you're going to want to hold it on the bottom, and you're going to want to look for this. So in this case, I noticed that this center needs to go here, this center needs to go here, and this center needs to go here. So if that's the case, you're going to want to hold the center in front of you and where you want it to go on top. So in this case, I have green, and I want it to go up here to match with the green. And that is going to be the same algorithm we use to pair up the yellow center. So it's going to be this, 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 and then we do a cube rotation twice. So we have this case, then we go up, up, down, down, and that will solve the cube. And if that didn't work, then you should try it one more time, and then that should solve it. And then the final case that you could have is when you have something that looks like this, and it's where you have none of the centers solved, and then they're all like right next to each other, like these two need to swap and these two need to swap. So if you have this case, unfortunately, you'll have to do the same algorithm twice. So you're just going to hold it in whatever position that you want to. So I'll just hold it with the green and then green on top just to show that. And then you have to basically do the same algorithm. So it's just up, up, and then down, down, and then do a double cube rotation, then up, up, down, down. And then that will give you this case where this one needs to go here, this one needs to go here, and this one needs to go here. If you did all this correctly, then the Skewb should be solved. And again, if the algorithm for finishing all the centers didn't work, then I do recommend that you try it again. And also, before I end the video, make sure to go check out Skewb Shop. It is the #1 best puzzle retailer, and I definitely recommend it. You can get a bunch of really cool cubes for really good prices.